In a move that has sparked controversy and widespread debate, Labour leader Keir Starmer has come under fire for his strong support of increased UK military aid to Ukraine. Critics argue that his stance risks further escalating tensions between NATO and Russia, while supporters see it as a necessary step in standing against aggression. But what does this policy truly mean for Britain's role in the conflict, and is there any basis to claims that Starmer is volunteering British soldiers for war? The context: UK's role in the Ukraine conflict. Since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Western nations have provided extensive military aid, training, and financial support to Kiev. The UK, under both Conservative and Labour leadership, has been among Ukraine's staunchest allies. This commitment has included sending advanced weaponry, intelligence assistance, and training Ukrainian troops on British soil. Keir Starmer, who has consistently positioned himself as a firm supporter of NATO and Ukraine, has emphasized that Britain must not waver in its support. He has pledged to maintain and potentially expand military aid should Labour win the next general election. However, recent statements and policy suggestions have raised concerns among critics who fear that this unwavering stance could lead to direct UK military involvement in the conflict. The controversy: Starmer's words under scrutiny. The backlash against Starmer intensified after comments suggesting that Labour would continue to offer strong military backing to Ukraine, including the possibility of further military cooperation. Some opposition voices, particularly from anti-war groups and independent commentators, have interpreted these remarks as a step toward a deeper UK commitment, with concerns that it could put British forces at greater risk. However, there is no evidence to suggest that Starmer has proposed deploying British troops directly into combat. Rather, his position aligns with the broader NATO consensus, which has been clear in avoiding direct military engagement while providing support through training and weaponry. Despite this, critics argue that increased involvement, even if limited to training and arms supplies, could drag the UK further into a prolonged conflict, raising concerns about potential retaliation from Russia. Some have gone as far as accusing Starmer of disregarding public opinion and prioritizing geopolitical strategy over national security. Supporters defend Starmer's position. On the other side of the debate, many analysts and politicians argue that continued military aid is crucial for maintaining stability in Europe. Supporters of Starmer's approach contend that standing firm against Russian aggression is not only a moral obligation but also a strategic necessity for the UK and its allies. Former military officials and defense experts have pointed out that helping Ukraine defend itself prevents a larger-scale conflict in Europe, which could ultimately pose a greater threat to British security. They argue that if Russia were to succeed in Ukraine, it could embolden further aggression, making future conflicts more likely. Additionally, Labour officials have clarified that their stance remains consistent with NATO policies, reinforcing that no British troops will be sent to fight in Ukraine. Instead, they stress that any military support will be in line with existing commitments, such as training Ukrainian forces abroad and providing necessary resources. Public opinion and political implications. Polling data suggests that the British public remains divided on military support for Ukraine. While there is still significant backing for assisting Ukraine, concerns about escalation and the financial costs of military aid are growing. Some voters worry about the UK's own defence capabilities, arguing that prioritising foreign conflicts could weaken domestic security and resources. For Starmer, this controversy presents both an opportunity and a challenge. As he positions Labour as a responsible party on foreign policy, he must navigate the fine line between strong international leadership and addressing domestic concerns. His ability to reassure the public while maintaining Labour's commitment to Ukraine will be critical in the lead-up to the next election. While the accusations that Starmer is volunteering British troops for slaughter appear to be exaggerated, the debate over the UK's role in Ukraine remains highly charged. As the conflict continues, discussions about military aid, NATO commitments, and national security will only become more pressing. What do you think? Should the UK continue its strong support for Ukraine, or should there be a more cautious approach? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on the latest political developments.